Hello, my friends. My name is Ryan Freeman. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. So, in my last video, Sir Paddlesworthy wrote down, Ryan, would you please do another video on loneliness? I have done videos on the loneliness that I have dealt with, primarily as an expat in his early 40s. I'm 42. I live in Taiwan. I've lived here for the past 2 years. I've dealt with loneliness before this, even in America. I've dealt with loneliness in Japan when I lived there in my early mid-30s, and in China in my late 20s. Loneliness just seems to be, and I dealt with it back in high school, okay? Loneliness just seems to be some part of the human experience. I will talk about it specifically as an expat, but I just want to talk about it generally. I have felt those long nights of the soul where I was outside, before cell phones, before social media, outside as a very young man, looking up at the moon, and just with my dog Cooper, best dog of my life, and sometimes I'd go hiking in the hills alone, you know? I mean, there is something about loneliness that it's absolutely one of the worst feelings to have, but there is something that it does inside of you that I think beckons you to come out, you know? So I think that loneliness is not, and one thing that I think that every type of suffering that we all have to deal with, whether it's loneliness, whether it's pain of aging or disease or lots of things, these are human conditions. And when you realize that what you're going through is what a lot of people are going through, you're not alone, okay? Because a lot of times we do get the misconception that everyone's having this fantastic life, because you go on Facebook or Instagram or whatever your social media is, and you just see happy people, and you think they're just so happy all the time. Well, in fact, I think most people show their highlights. Okay, so we're all humans. We all feel like this isolated individual, and we just want to connect. And you could even be married, you could even have kids, and you can feel lonely because you don't have a connection with them, the connection that you need, the connection that you yearn for. And then you have to realize that individual psychologies are all different. There are some people that are naturally, they're just naturally easy to merge with the external world. They're extroverts. They can just, they are happy with those surface level connections and just hooking into the mainframe of society. And some people are a little more introspective and a little more introverted, and it's not necessarily easy for them to connect with other people. For example, I have an older brother and a younger brother. My older brother has a wide social network of soccer dads and various people that he connects with, and he's very happy. He's just always busy. But I have a younger brother who's extraordinarily introverted and introspective, and he's got a very small social circle, smaller than you could imagine. And he's actually not very happy, I think, for the most part. But when you connect with my younger brother, it's at a very deep level. With my older brother, it's a little more of a superficial level. What I'm trying to say is not that extroverts are better than introverts, and obviously, like, the human personality is a lot more dynamic than just A or B. You know, sometimes I'm an extrovert and sometimes I'm an introvert, right? And it depends who I'm around. What I'm trying to say is that we all have a variety of psychologies, a variety of personalities. So I'm going to give you guys my experience. When I moved to Taiwan 2 years ago, it was after a very catastrophic splitting of my family. Lost my wife, lost my kids, and I needed to restart my life. And I was thrust into this world of public school teaching and met a variety of characters. But you cannot really, and it's nice to have people to say, hi, how's it going? How's your coffee? But, you know, if you're like me, you want a deeper connection, and it's rare to meet really people who you can establish that deep rapport and that deep understanding, the people that you can tell your darker secrets to, the people that you can tell your dreams and wishes and be vulnerable with. And so I met some friends, and I joined a jiu-jitsu gym there, and jiu-jitsu has been a very important part of my life in terms of building a community. When I was younger, I had church and soccer teams, and now I have jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu has always been a staple. I think being around people who have similar interests and are like-minded is very helpful, to be a part of a community, to be someone who is valued is an incredibly important part. But also having friends outside of that, friends that you call, friends that visit your house, friends that you visit their house is important. And I had my Taiwanese mama, who I've talked about on this channel before. She was an incredibly important part of getting me through that first year in Taoyuan, because she was someone I could talk about with everything. And now I'm in Kaohsiung, and I have friends, but I don't. And actually, I have my Kaohsiung mama, who's incredibly important, who's been such a valuable person in my life. But these people, these are people that you have to cherish, and these are people that you have to open up to. And it might not be everyone, right? Sometimes, we're afraid to open ourselves up. We're afraid to stick out because we might get criticism, or we might get some sort of backlash for the things that we say, or for just revealing who we really are. But you have to do it in order to build that trust and rapport. Anyways, dating, love life, when I was younger, when I was single in my 20s and early 30s, I was dating, not very serious, bachelor, having fun, Then I got married, and I settled on one woman, completely monogamous, had children, and then she left me with the children, and my world was done, and I was thrust back into the dating world at 40. So that was a shocker. And I downloaded the apps, OkCupid, which is probably the worst of the apps that I've used, Bumble, Tinder, and I started dating in Taoyuan and then here in Kaohsiung, and dated also girls that I met just in my life. But with dating, just as with making friends, you have to meet a lot of people before you actually find someone that you can have a genuine connection with. And I've had a couple girls that I had genuine connections with, but still there was always this thing that I realized it wasn't going to go all the way because of whatever personal issues there were, or philosophical issues that there were. But still, it alleviated that loneliness to a large degree. And it's just great to make these deep connections. I cherish all of the deep connections, all of the dating that I've done. Because and even my acquaintances, even at work, even if we don't become great friends, if you're just that person, like there's a physics teacher, at my last school, a guy who really doesn't talk, but we both really enjoyed our hellos and stuff like that. So I cherish all levels of connection, but I think the thing that, and those do help you alleviate loneliness, but I do think that the deep friendships, the deep relationships are the things that truly sustain you, right? There's popcorn and there's steak. And the popcorn is important too, but steak is really what we're after. And so with dating, I'm fortunate enough, I was pretty worried I wasn't going to meet someone down here in Kaohsiung, but I was fortunate enough that in February, I ended up meeting someone, and we've been together since. And it's been a very interesting relationship. Perhaps I'll talk about it in a future video. But Flo, the girl that I'm with, it's been a very fulfilling relationship, and looks like the future is bright and beautiful. and so I'm happy. But there were a lot of times where I wasn't so optimistic, because you're chatting with people and you're going on dates, and it's just things are fizzling out. People are ghosting you, or you're ghosting other people. It depends on the style. And you can become cynical. You can become pessimistic. And I think that life isn't always easy, and we do deal with loneliness. We do deal with disappointments. We do deal with betrayals. But for the most part, people are awesome. People will open up when you open up. And life is an adventure, and it's waiting for you to take its hands and dance with it. And so this video wasn't meant to be a bummer. I'd done this video before, and then the autofocus was off, so I had to do it again. So I was a little upset about that. But I just wanted to talk about this because Sir Paddlesworthy requested it. I hope that this helps. If you have any specific requests or any other questions, put it down below. I have dealt with loneliness a lot in my life. I will no doubt deal with it in the future. I just feel that, that the human experience, it's ups and downs. It's happiness, it's sadness, it's victory, it's defeat, and becoming okay with that, in noticing that, things pass. You're not going to be lonely all the time. You will meet someone, as long as you keep, have goodwill towards life, goodwill towards your life. Like, love yourself, and it's not always easy. I mean, I'm not trying to be cliche, but actually want to meet someone, actually believe that you're worthy of love, actually believe that you're a good person and can have a good friendship. And I think that these things will happen, like I mentioned earlier in the video, having a community of like-minded individuals, as I do have with jiu-jitsu, has been an important part of my life. Not to mention that I'm developing a skill that satisfies me as well. So expanding yourself, enjoying yourself, and not relying too much on the booze. A little bit does help. Too much is obviously a really bad thing. So, keeping yourself in balance, I'm not trying to say being optimistic, not trying to say get your hopes up high, but don't let your self-criticism, because the problem of being alone for too long is sometimes you're stuck in your head and you will talk yourself out of opportunities. But, as soon as you let those go and you just walk down the street, and you smile at people, opportunities abound, opportunities open up. There is a magic out there that is waiting to grab you, that is waiting to connect you. And when you allow it to work in your life, beautiful things do happen. All right. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, put it down below. Thumbs up, please. My name is Ryan Freeman. Bye-bye.